Hi, everyone. I am Linda Wellbrock, the founder of Leading Women Entrepreneurs and the Force for Change Awards during COVID. And we have an amazing guest with us today. We have Jim Fakealt, the president and CEO of JCP&L, and he is without question an illuminator, as he's been keeping the lights on for all of us, especially during these challenging times. So welcome, Jim. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. We're honored to have you here. And we'd love for you to tell us a little bit about your role as the president of JCP&L, its mission, and how JCP&L has been a force for change during this difficult time for all of us.
Well, first of all, Linda, let me thank you for the recognition. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you and the Leading Women Entrepreneurs for recognizing JCP&L for our efforts in keeping the lights on and our customers and our employees safe and healthy during what really have been unprecedented times. We're really honored to be recognized, and I see this truly as a team effort, which is why I've included a couple of my colleagues, Kim Contos and Jason Wallace, in today's conversation. So, day to day as president of the JCP&L company, we basically run the operations, and we've got 1,300 employees, both bargaining and non-bargaining employees, that work out of, we got two regional headquarters, one in Morristown and one in Homedale, but we actually work out of over 100 locations now. Since the pandemic hit, we went from 22 shops to nearly 100 to separate people, to put them into a safe environment, as well as a number of people working from home now. So it's been really kind of an unprecedented time. Really, again, our employees really are the driving force, behind this change within the industry. And I can tell you their commitment to keeping the lights on for our 1.1 million customers during this tough time, including storms as well as this pandemic, have never been stronger. And I will just say that our number one priority during all of this has been the safety and the health of our employees, as well as the public that we are privileged to serve. So we work closely with communities, obviously, during all of this. And I want to just mention a couple things. We've been real pleased and proud of some of the assistance we've provided through our foundation, through the First Energy Foundation, to support our communities during these difficult times. We, as I mentioned, have also adapted to many changes in how we work and how we do our job, which is around the clock, 24/7, to make sure that we keep the lights on. So back in March, we provided $50,000 of donation to the food banks. We're a big supporter of all of the food banks in our communities. We believe they do really good work in our communities. So we provided them a very sizable donation to help in their cause. Of course, we also know that in early August, we had a terrible storm hit our territory and caused extensive damage. It impacted nearly 800,000 of our 1.1 million customers. We had, in addition to our 1,300 employees, about another 9,000 people come into the state to help us put the lights back on. Crews from as far away as Texas and Florida, and from 17 states in total came on to help us restore power to our customers. And in doing so, following the CDC guidelines for health and safety during this pandemic. Now, during the restoration effort, we had a number of staging sites set up, and we were able to donate about 83,000 pounds of leftover food and products to the food banks. And in addition, we gave another $50,000 donation to the food banks that are in the territory that we serve. So, just very important part of what we do is working within our communities, keeping the lights on, and really more than ever, the importance of safety and health has been a big part of our job. And I also, as a kind of another side note, was honored to be part of and selected in the Governor Murphy's Restart and Recovery Committee Advisory Council. So, had a chance to kind of help make some of the businesses hopefully get back to business here in the state.
I mean, that's just incredible, and it's so refreshing to hear about all of your powerful endeavors, especially helping the most vulnerable communities in the state of New Jersey. But you mentioned the Governor's Restart and Recovery Council. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and what your mission is there?
So we started meeting a couple of months ago as we were starting to come out of the pandemic, I was asked to serve on one of the subcommittees, the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, if you will, along with other leaders from the utility industry. There were labor leaders involved. Transportation sector was, obviously part of this. So really the effort was, a statewide effort to bring together leaders from these different sectors to talk about how we can safely get back to business. And I thought the utilities in particular had a lot to talk or offer. We've been operating 24/7 throughout the pandemic, so a lot of the things that we did, we were able to share, and then just look at other things that we can do to help the economy, in particular, shovel-ready jobs, investments within infrastructure, for example. So, like I said, it was a good experience. We met weekly for quite a while, and now we're meeting on a less regular basis, but we are still meeting and still very engaged in the state and what the state is doing. It's important. Ultimately, we'll come out of this pandemic. It's going to be really important that we help get the economy going and help get jobs and get the state of New Jersey back on its feet.
Absolutely. And it's so important to have diverse perspectives, especially from thought leaders like yourself. So I applaud you on your work there. And like you said, there's nothing more important than right now jumpstarting the economy in a healthy way and getting New Jersey back on its feet again. So as we touch really upon the impact that COVID health emergency has had on the economy, let's talk to one of your team members, which I'm so glad that you brought in. We have Jason Wallace, who is JCP&L's Manager of Revenue Operations and who is also involved with the JCP&L's Customer Assistance Program. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your role within the revenue operations and how JCP&L is providing support for customers facing financial hardships during COVID.
Sure. So I manage the revenue operations department, and my day-to-day responsibilities, one of them is helping customers who may be struggling to pay their electric bill. And so I was reflecting on this COVID-19 pandemic, and I know that it's provided a lot of uncertainty for our customers. And I know from personal experience that when you're uncertain how things are going to play out, that it can be very stressful. So we want to eliminate that stress for our customers. So at the beginning of March, when things really started to take a turn for the worse, we voluntarily suspended our disconnections for non-payment. We wanted to provide certainty for our customers to make sure that they knew that their lights would be on. And since this pandemic has continued to go on, we've really increased our efforts to reach out to our customers proactively to make them aware of assistance that may be available for them. So energy assistance, bill assistance, providing additional payment plans and things that are available for our customers, because we're all on this together, and we want to make sure that when our customers come out and we all come out of this together on the other side, that our customers don't have a bill that's substantially larger than when they started. So we've really been doing everything we can to continue to work with our customers to keep the lights on.
You know what? I mean, you hopefully are going to inspire other companies to be as compassionate. And I know working with entrepreneurs, how difficult it has been, especially for small businesses. And so leniency and any support is much appreciated. But I understand you're also involved with the diversity and inclusion program at JCP&L. Can you tell me a little bit about your role there?
Sure. So, I always tell people one of the things about me is I love sports. I love playing sports and coaching and watching sports. And so teams that are successful are highly performing teams. And I believe it's part of their culture. And so we also at JCP&L have a great team, and we want a high-performing team, and it starts with our culture. So a big part of that is our value system, and one of those values is diversity and inclusion. So I serve as the chair for one of our employee business resource groups, Mosaic, and Mosaic serves as a resource for First Energy's people of color. And over the last several months, COVID-19, as well as many other tragic events, has really shown a spotlight on the disproportionate impact African American communities have experienced with racial inequality and also social challenges facing our country. And so Mosaic partnered with our D&I team to sponsor some speak up sessions for employees that were also sponsored by our executive leadership team, which includes Jim Fakel, to really provide a safe space for employees to come in and talk about how they were feeling in regards to what's happening in 2020 and also what's happening at our communities and at work. And I was really encouraged just by the open and honest dialogue that took place. And that sometimes, were uncomfortable conversations, but I really believe that we need to have those conversations in order to really, talk about the change that needs to take place. So I know we're not where we want to be, but I'm really just encouraged and optimistic at the direction that we're headed. So it's an honor for me to be a part of Mosaic because I really do believe it's helping to strengthen our culture for diversity and inclusion at Jersey Central.
Well, it's another great example of giving employees and everyone an open lines of communication and a place to have their voice heard, and that's the first step in the right direction. So thank you for that. And I'd like to introduce Kim Contos, the manager of emergency preparedness here. She's with this team that Jim has put together that's doing amazing work in the state. And I'd love for you to tell us, Kim, a little bit about your role and take us through some of the safety measures that you've implemented for the frontline workers during the coronavirus health emergency.
Okay, thanks, Linda, and thanks for having us. So in my role as the emergency preparedness manager, I have to have an in-depth knowledge of our emergency preparedness procedures and policies across all of our parent company, First Energy, to ensure a cohesive response within JCP&L. And I also work closely with Jim and the rest of the JCP&L leadership team to help coordinate that response to ensure a safe and efficient restoration for all of our customers in the event that we have storms. So from the beginning of the health emergency, again, safety has been the most important thing that we've kept in mind, and we've implemented a number of changes there. In the beginning, anyone who could work from home, we provided the support and technology and did that. Almost half of our workforce there. We have alternating shifts. We suspended meter reading that requires the employee to physically go into the home of a customer. We've split our groups into smaller work units to support social distancing. And we've been working closely with our vendors and contractors to ensure that they are following the same policies.
I mean, it's incredible to think about all of the shifts that every company had to make essentially overnight, and how quickly everybody has adapted to just this whole new world that we live in. And so while we're, navigating these new working conditions, how have you focused on staying safe, and what else are you doing to keep up with the normal day-to-day of operations and ensuring customer service and reliability?
Thanks, Linda. So being that we're well into hurricane season, we continue to work with our meteorologists very closely, almost on an hourly basis, to monitor the weather and any hurricane activity in the Atlantic that may affect us. And if and when a storm strikes, we're able to call upon thousands of line workers through First Energy, our parent company. We also belong to a few mutual assistance groups that's able to call upon other electric distribution companies throughout the country. We also provide support to them. We provided most recently to Hurricane Laura in Texas and Louisiana. We also work with the Edison Electric Institute, EEI, as well as our vendors and contractors to ensure consistent and safe operational procedures are followed to keep our employees safe. And just a number of protocols we implement to ensure, such as wearing masks, social distancing. We have sanitizing stations, protective equipment for our employees. And those are some of the things that we have done.
Sounds like a lot in a little bit of time. So last question for you, Kim. This last tropical storm, it took me by surprise, whole state by surprise. And it swept through New Jersey, leaving significant damage, as many of us know. And it affected a lot of JCP&L customers. So tell us about how you responded to the storm and how the storm's recovery team was able to safely repair the damage and restore service effectively.
So our response was a true team effort. As Jim mentioned before, we had over 9,000 workers, including our own JCP&L workers, and we also had mutual aid from 17 different states. And our crews worked around the clock to safely restore service to nearly 800,000 customers that were affected during that event. And all while ensuring that we adhered to the new COVID safety and health guidelines, we were able to keep our employees safe. We had staging sites, we had extra sleep trailers, we had box lunches, a lot of signage goes in to ensure social distancing. And those are some of the safeguards we had during the storm event.
So not only a storm, but COVID on top of it. I can't imagine, a day in a life of anybody there at JCP&L. So thank you for getting us through another crisis. But I'm going to shift to a little bit of a lighter question here, and we're going to go back to Jim. And I'd love to ask you if there was something surprising that you missed from working in the office.
Well, yeah, Linda, I don't know if surprising maybe is the right word, but first of all, I'm starting to get used to some of this technology. I think we've all done a number of these virtual meetings and done presentations and all kinds of things virtually, and it's actually better than I thought. If you would have asked me back in January that we were going to be doing this, I kind of think it would be a disaster, but it's not. It's really, But what I really kind of miss is just the interaction. And I'm surprised at how much I do miss that. I mean, you can see I have just an absolutely terrific team, small representation with two of my team members here, but there's 1,298 others that are just as talented and really are dedicated to serving our customers. And I just miss that. I mean, I think, there's just nothing quite like being, face to face and being able to engage with people. But I think we all know it's coming, we'll get back to it. So we'll have to just put up with it for a little bit, cross our fingers. But that's, I'm just kind of surprised really at how much I've missed just that interaction day in and day out, face to face.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. The camaraderie is missed certainly by me and everyone else. And let's move to Jason and then Kim. Is there something surprising that you missed?
You know what? I missed the morning commute. I don't miss the afternoon commute, sometimes, but I miss the morning commute. The morning commute just provided a really good opportunity to listen to some audiobooks and maybe just have a few minutes to just kind of prepare for the day. So that was kind of just like my preparation time. So I actually kind of missed that coffee and that morning commute. But then on the flip side, I don't miss the afternoon commute, especially on Fridays coming home from the short traffic. So
I think that for some of us that was like our own little private think tank session wherever we were commuting to. So you're not the first person that actually has said that, and I kind of agree with you. But Kim, let's move to you too. Is there something that you miss?
Yeah, so I mean, I have to just echo, Jason, I didn't even think about that, but you're right. I mean, that's the wind down time, and I do miss that a little bit. But I'd have to say, not that it's surprising, but definitely miss the face-to-face interaction, the meetings, the think sessions, brainstorming, and just really interacting with people face-to-face. I mean, we've done a terrific job leveraging technology, and in terms of productivity, I don't think we've skipped a beat, but I think that would probably be the biggest thing that I miss.
Well, I certainly miss having live events and live interviews, but I am so glad that all three of you could come here and take the time to interview with us today. We congratulate you and the entire team at JCP&L for being a force for change during COVID. You three are representing literally the power team here, and we can't wait to celebrate you on November 2nd Again, thank you for all that you do for the state. Jim, thank you for being a leader and helping to get New Jersey through these difficult times. And we, again, can't wait to see you and celebrate you on November 2nd.
Thanks again, Linda. Appreciate the recognition.